Rule decision.
That's good! That's good!
Hi everybody. How's it going? We got try on location
On
from
location.
from a hotel room.
More like off
Hi
location.
everybody. Oh,
Oh,
you
whoops! I
got
gotta mute
you
that.
got yeah, mute that.
There we go. So yeah, I knew I was gonna have to make a quick trip this week, and I thought it would probably be more like Wednesday or Thursday, but it ended up being today. But I am nonetheless here. I have brought a headset and can join. Apparently, my audio is popping.
Yeah,
Is it
I brought
popping
it
for
down
you?
some. So hopefully it's good now. Let me know if it's good. Yeah, I hope the internet is strong. Should be from the hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I seem to be able to view the stream okay, and I haven't heard you cutting out or anything. So
Yeah, I mean
sounds like
I
it's
just bringing it
better
down a
now.
little bit from here. So let me know
Yeah, yeah.
if it's all right or if it needs to be adjusted at all.
This is funny enough. A Xbox 20th anniversary headset that showed up in the PO box courtesy of Andy 64.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean
Like about 6 months ago. So it's actually really nice.
Yeah. The audio I didn't drop mine at all. It should be mine should be fine. But let me know if it's how it's
Maybe it was just
going.
because you leaned away picking up
Yeah,
Nelly or
probably.
something.
It's probably cuz I got the old bean down here with me.
Yeah.
You know, she came down, she whenever I'm setting up, if she hears me say like testing 1 2 3, like she will run down here for some reason and she knows that I'm up to something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sandy's the same way. Like she knows what it looks like to set up for a stream, and especially because she can kind of tell the difference between an MLiG stream and a backloggery stream, like just the way I'm setting up. Because when I'm setting up for backloggery streams, she just like she'll sit in the couch, but she'll just like
That's
be very
good.
alert and like staring off toward the front door because like there's a high chance that Drum comes over on Monday stream night, right?
Right, right.
And she's just staring. She's like so sure. And then like when I play continue, if he's still not here, continues the opening theme song that we have for the backloggery streams. And like if he's not here when I play that, she's just gets really antsy and it's like, okay, I have to go to the front door and let you take a peek outside just to be sure he's not there. Yes, Sandy is with my parents right now.
It's funny because like so you can't hear yourself through the headphones, so you're like talking like in a very hushed tone at the same time.
It's hard because like I mean obviously it's not like super late or anything, but like I don't want to be making a ruckus in a hotel. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's like it's hard for me to because of the headphones. It's hard for
Can
me
you
to
pull one
tell
of the
like
headphones off?
yeah, maybe that'll help a little bit
Yeah.
actually.
All right,
That
Bean.
way
You want to say bye?
I don't I have a little more awareness of my volume. Not that I usually ever do have much awareness of my speaking volume. Bye, Nelly. Cindy always likes to look up at like who's on the other screen. Like when I'm talking on the computer, like she like looks up and she likes it when she sees Nelly on the pre-stream and stuff like that. I don't know. She can just tell like, oh, that's when there's other people on the screen when he's
That's
talking in that
another
kind of
dog.
tone.
All right, you can
Yeah,
hang out in the
sometimes it's
chair,
another dog.
but I mean, I know that you're gonna run upstairs soon, but she's just gonna can't
No,
really see
Sandy's
her
not
right
like
now.
no laughing aloud. Sandy is like you're making loud noises. I want to make loud noises too. And whenever I'm laughing, she always assumes it's in reaction to something that's on the TV. So she like gets right up at the TV and barks at it because she's like, "Oh, oh yeah, 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 that's funny. I get it too. Woof, woof, woof. Yeah,
She's like, I understand. Hang on, let me see if I
yeah."
can turn the camera and you can see her down there. Watch her just like this is what she does.
I'm still waiting to see. Is that a bloody wolf shirt?
No. Why do I hear
What
myself sometimes?
you hear yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know why I hear myself
What on
sometimes.
earth is she? Oh, she was just taking a long time to lay down on the chair.
Yeah, she like rolls around a bit. Just rolls around a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't think it would be coming from my end since I'm just using a headset.
Oh, and now I'm like all off center. Screwed it up. Yeah, maybe it is the stream, but I'm not hearing myself. There's no reason for me to be hearing myself unless I'm doing something weird here.
Like, do you have accidentally running in another window?
I checked for that and I did not see it. Whatever. So, I've been thinking about playing this for. What am I? My camera is like so wrong. I'm like off screen completely. All right, now we should be good. Let me. It'll be. It's good. It's like not even close. All right. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Talk to the shoulder. Let me see if I can fix this here. I screwed it up by moving.
Oh yeah, I was going to say you're on the
I know
4-3.
it's fixed now though. There we go.
I mean, honestly, we've been talking about streaming this game for like years.
Oh
In fact,
yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like I almost streamed it like the first Sunday after the PS5 came out.
Maybe. I mean, I backed this game too. Let me just make sure that I'm not. You can go ahead and talk. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not sending audio.
But I mean, it's definitely one of those like, how bad could it be things? I mean, didn't we play like a level or two at Dave's house like many years ago?
Yeah.
I was actually on did a podcast recording with Dave and some other people yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't spoil what it was about. It'll be on the Still Loading podcast in maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
We were also on with the guy who does another one of the guests he does the art of Nintendo Power.
Oh yeah.
Like a huge collection of Nintendo Power stuff. He's a producer at Bungie.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is pretty wild.
I saw like a tweet from him recently that was saying, "Oh, what comic book creator do you have have you had like a experience with or something, or like a friendship with, or like a good experience with him?" And it like he was talking about how like his best friend is Kevin Eastman, who created he
was
Ninja
the
Turtles.
best man at his wedding. Yeah, after chatting with him, I went and snooped on his Twitter a little bit. I saw that. I was like, I would have brought that up in the conversation if I knew that beforehand. But that's like kind of like what?
That's pretty wild, right? So
that is very wild.
Do you have Streamlabs open? Or
I do, because we have people to catch up on here. I saw that first of all there was a notification from Eric Benoit, old EB Chill 2, as we often know him, saying second best decision I ever made after marrying my wife. 32 months. Like I wonder if being a member for 32 months in a row is the second best decision he ever made, or if it's just like coming to this specific stream tonight, being here right now to watch Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
That's number 2 on your list of life accomplishments is watching My Life in Gaming on July 2nd, 2023 play Mighty Number 9 on a PlayStation 5. And then after that, there was just a $5 super chat from him with no comment. But thank you. And then there was Jeremy Farbman with a $5 super chat, saying happy Sunday. After the mad appearance in today's game sack, Coury has ruined those sound effects for me. Keep up the good work, fellas. I didn't see it, but I saw like a thumbnail that made it sound like the episode is about like the mode button. Like, is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like,
It's just like games that don't work with it.
oh, don't work with it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I just finished. I watched it over several sessions. I just finished the PC Engine arcade card episode. It's like it's amazing how like minor the differences are, but I really appreciate that like he took the time to like document all of the differences, like big and small, in like one comprehensive video. Like that information probably doesn't exist in that
Right.
format like anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been doing a lot of stuff like that. Like the last week, he did like the arcade card. It's cool. Like it's like a really good. Like I feel like it's inspiring for me for sure to see something like that. You know, like I'm not. I'm going on vacation like probably tomorrow night, and I won't be back until next Sunday. I don't know if I'll be
Probably tomorrow night. I mean, I guess you were like me, where you didn't actually know what day you were going to be taking your trip until it
Yeah,
happened.
well, I picked up a freelance job that, you know, I said a while ago that I was not planning on picking up any more freelance jobs for a while, but this is just something I really wanted to do once it was like offered. So I jumped at the opportunity, and I said, well, I'm going on vacation with my family because the due date for it was the 7th, and I said I'm going on vacation with my family on the 3rd or 4th. Is it okay if I get it done early? Because I really want to do it. So, I mean, that's why the video that I was trying to do right now was like not out, is because I spent all week working on
You
that.
sent me
basically.
a really cool B-roll shot of what you're working on.
Yeah,
for
and
the
I mean,
MLiG video though.
it's
really
like the thing I'm doing, like it's going to be branded as a mini, and I'm just taking it as an opportunity to be like, listen, I want to do one-off videos here and there, and just like things that are
Fairly lightweight and inconsequential.
Yeah, and I don't want it to feel like lesser because of it, but it's just like, hey, I want to do this thing, so I'm gonna do it. Oh, I gotta use R2 to. That's right. Zell. Like, how important is the story to this in this game? You think?
I mean, I would imagine not at all. There was, let's see. There was a $10 super chat from Dad 1153. Thank you. Saying, house sitting at my sister's for 2 weeks. Full fridge, Dreamcast, Series X, Genesis Mini 2, Switch, Analog Pocket with stacks of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, GPA, and Game Gear carts and keys to the car in the driveway. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
I mean, that sounds like a fun little diversion, I would say. You know, just be in a different place for a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
That.
So you didn't get a chance to see my thumbnail for this stream, did you?
No. Should I take a look?
I mean, if you can, you should. I
is
thought
it-
it was funny.
It's
like definitely like low hanging fruit, but I thought it was funny because I thought of it like in the moment.
1 second.
How difficult is this game?
Is it in the trash?
Yeah.
It's really tiny on this laptop screen. Oh, that's pretty funny.
Has anybody beaten this game? You think anybody out there has beaten this game?
I mean, yes, but in this chat, who
definitely a
knows? Yeah. I mean, I could, if anyone in this chat has beaten the game and like intimately remembers it, that would be the more curious thing to note, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how long it is, or if it's even that difficult.
I remember it was like right after the Series X came out. I saw it is jogging my memory because
Oh, I know you're.
I saw someone. Oh, Tony Galvin said, "Do you think anyone has speed run this game?" I
Probably.
saw like I saw a video clip that was from a stream. I guess this was like maybe within a week of the Series X coming out, and someone who I presume speedruns does in fact speedrun this game, uh, uh, was streaming the game, and there's this like crazy like they were doing something that they seemed to be familiar with, and was curious like if it would run better on Series X. Like I guess it just like something that just causes the frame rate to go totally haywire and just drop like a rock. And even on Series X, whatever it was they did caused the next frame to come so slowly that it like caused the system to drop signal. Although now you know, thinking about it now though, like at the time I didn't know much about VRR, and like that actually doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'm not even sure how they would have been streaming it capturing that. So I wonder what really was happening there. But it was interesting. Like the game like seized up for like multiple seconds on it.
I thought it like locked up the system for some reason.
Well, maybe that's it. I don't know. I actually, now that I think about it, I don't know a lot about the context of it, but it was kind of funny. The real question is though, like, is this game at least as good as Fuse?
Does it have more style than Fuse? Is it, you know, does it have more personality than Fuse? Probably.
It might. I mean, Fuse has more personality than your like average, you know, third person shooter, I would say, but less personality than your average.
Yeah, this is somebody's favorite game. Somebody asked for this game for Christmas, like after it already came out.
I mean, like thousands of people asked Keiji Inafune for this game for Christmas.
Yeah, but
it took him a long time.
What I'm saying is, like, even after it came out, and then when the physical version came out, someone asked for it for Christmas. It's gonna be the long running thing. Like anything that's like, you know.
This guy on the far left that I imagine is, you know, basically Dr. Light. Like,
yeah,
the shape of his abdomen is.
And his arms too. His arms are just like tubes.
But it's just like the horizontality of his abdomen like starts like weirdly high.
Yeah.
It is.
He's extremely happy to have the proportions he has though. Look at how happy he is about it. I like they really went out of their way to like make sure that they gave him a tie clip. I think that's an important part of his character. He's like, oh, he's got to have a tie clip.
There was also a $5 super chat from DT Playthroughs. Thank you. Saying, picked up Demon's Tilt after Sony's recommendation last stream and loving it. Great ball slapping fun.
Balls.
What is both of your favorite digital pinball game? You know, I was actually kind of thinking like, oh, about Demon's Tilt, but then I saw it featured on one of the recent GameSack episodes that was like spiritual successors.
Yeah.
And like he was a little down on it. I think. I mean, I think he liked it, but like he didn't love like how zoomed out it was, and I kind of didn't either. So
well, you
that
can
kind of
adjust
got me
that,
like,
oh,
can you?
They maybe they didn't have it at the time, but you can adjust the zoom.
Maybe
on it
he just didn't know how to do it.
I just found out recently that they are making a sequel, which I think is kind of cool, called Xeno Tilt. You know,
oh yeah,
because like you know, it was Devil's Crush before, then Alien Crush. Now they're going. All right, so Okay, so can I... Vermilion Destroyer.
There was also a 499 just now from good old Sean Quinn.
Oh,
Thank
good to
you.
see ya.
Always good to see you. Yeah, you've been poking your head in the streams a little more often lately. Saying someone has kidnapped you and put a gun to your head. You have to say one thing you love about this game, and they know if you're lying. I mean, we haven't really played enough. I would
That
say.
guy's tie clip.
Yeah, I do love that. I do. I agree. I love that. I also love that in that first level, that it looked like, you know, just kind of some of the generic Me-Tool or Metool type enemies were just trash cans, trash can robots. I love that. I like a good trash can robot. Who doesn't love a trash can robot? You know, I listened to some Here's My Question for You on my
your
drive today. Yeah, I did.
Really? Did you listen to the one where I was driving yet?
Yeah, it sounded great.
Yeah, I mean, we had to like run a little bit of a denoiser through it, but I thought it came out pretty good.
It did. Yeah, I listened to that one, and then I listened to maybe half of the one from the week before.
Oh,
And I think I'm blanking on some of the things. There were a couple of things that came up that was like, oh, I want to mention that during the stream. One that I remember is, you know, you were talking about Cleveland, right?
cool. Yeah.
And Chris said like, oh, there's like a really nice botanical garden. In Cleveland, right.
Which we might go to.
Well, so I don't know if he's still there.
If the botanical garden's still there?
No. It's there. So I know someone connected to that botanical garden.
Oh, interesting.
One of my best friends growing up, his dad is like a pretty big deal, like, I don't know, botanist or gardener or something. I don't exactly know what you would call it, but he was like, you know, he was the head gardener when you know, when I was growing up. You know, I lived in Delaware for like middle school and high school, and he was the head gardener at a really major botanical garden around there called Winter Tour.
Winter Tour?
I forget how you say it. Winter Tour in Delaware. Oh. And then when me and my friend were in college, his parents, his dad got a job at as you know, again, head gardener at like another like big botanical garden. And I forget if it was Cleveland or Florida.
Jeez.
But like it at some point, one of his next couple of jobs was you know, the botanical garden in Cleveland, like, you know, head gardener. I mean, it was a pretty major position. So I thought, oh, that's funny to hear Chris talk about that, because my friend's dad was the head gardener there, at least at some point.
That's pretty coincidental, I guess, right?
Yeah. Oh, what else was it in that episode that you guys talked about that I wanted to mention? Shoot, I was thinking of it earlier. Maybe it'll come to mind later. What were some of the other subjects you guys talked?
I don't know, just like bad or like situations where.
Oh! I remember. It was. I mean, I didn't really have anything to say about other than I thought it was actually really funny, like what you were talking about you and your friends driving with the windshield wipers. That is really funny. I mean, I've never done it. I've never seen anyone else do it, but that's really funny.
Yeah. I'm glad You got to kick out of it because I mean it was definitely funny at the time. I mean it still
Yeah,
comes up.
I mean, you could tell that Chris was like unsure if this was funny, and you just threw out well, I mean, it's funny when you're 17, but
Yeah.
like
I mean it's
I don't know, I think it's pretty funny when you're 38 too.
no, I did that with Matt's brother,
Yeah,
Duddleson. Yeah. It's
like just like it's almost like having guns like mounted on the front of your car, like
yeah, yeah.
aiming up into the sky or something, right? Like,
I never thought of it like that, like as machine guns. Jeez, this is like insane. Like these, this
can you
feels.
not pick a different level?
I'm gonna pick a different. I don't know if I can. Ooh, I can start right here though. At least.
Yes, I thought that was funny. Also, like I thought this was kind of an interesting insight that I had never really thought of it in quite this way before. But when you were talking to him about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
you were talking about how, in like Ubisoft open world games,
Mm-hmm.
you've just got this map with
Oh, that it
icons.
shows everything, and here you don't have anything.
And yeah, well, I mean, I'd thought of that before. It's just this map full of icons, and it's just like, okay, here's all your busy work now. Get rid of those icons, right? But then you commented that like Zelda is the reverse, where it's empty, and your actions create the icons, right? And what a difference in satisfaction
Yeah.
that little turn makes. Like I'd never really thought of it like, oh yeah, like it's the opposite of that.
Let's play a different level.
Do you have like infinite lives? Because like
No, you can adjust the amount of lives. I put it on 4 just because. I mean, if I go to game options, I can just like make it. I think as many lives as I want, or up to 9 or something like that. General options. Yeah, lives remaining. You can crank it all the way up to 9.
I like that doctor's sort of posy strikes to point at the map.
Let's try a different level. Is there? I don't know if there's any preferred order. We'll try Pyrogen.
I'm sure at least one person in here has the order memorized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surely.
I mean, is the case? Is it like there's? Well, I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I wonder if you get any weapons when you beat like a boss or something like that, or if that's just it's all about picking up the power ups, like the absorbing it, and that's what it is. Like that's the game, you know.
I see P. San Angelo in here says, if only they hadn't been able to get the extra money for voice acting, the game would have been a lot better.
Oh,
does he mean had or hadn't? Does it have voice acting?
Yes.
It does, right?
So
he's saying that it would have been better if it just wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it distracted from other elements in development, because I saw that Q46 said, does voice acting really make that kind of a difference to people? I mean, I'm of the opinion that certainly not every game needs voice acting. I think it can get in the way of just making the game feel snappier. Like, you have to, sometimes the pace of like just the standard pace of how like voiceover is written in games,
Right.
like just kind of makes your interactions feel more sluggish than they need to be. And it's not that the text is not worth reading necessarily, but like I think that you can have just as effective, you can have an effective story told without voices. I mean,
Yeah.
I often say like this might be a bit of hyperbole. I don't know if I would actually say that Ghost Trick is my favorite video game story, but it might be. It's definitely up there. It doesn't have voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm saying like, like this doesn't look that bad, and I think that this is going to be a situation where, people made it like a joke and talked about it for years, and now, like after we get some time on it, it's like, it wasn't that bad. Like
Right.
that's
I
how
mean,
I feel like is gonna be like that's like true with like Balan Wonderworld.
yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of hype and expectations surrounding it, and then like people were just actively mad, and then it was just cool to be mad about it,
Yeah,
right? And it was kind of a situation where like, oh well, they couldn't do anything right. Like no matter what they
yeah,
tried to do to make it better or anything, like it's just well, it would never be good enough. Like people just had made up their mind, right?
yeah.
And I'm not saying it's going to be amazing. I mean, because again, I haven't really played basically any of it, but I think there's probably no way it's as bad as its reputation.
Like is oh, jeez. I mean, is it like bad as like the Guy game on the PS2? You think? You think it's better than Jeep Thrills on the PS2?
I thought that was a Wii game. It's
No,
probably
it's
both.
it was a PS2 game, as far as I know. I mean, that's what it was. Is it? I mean,
Um,
there's certainly a lot worse games out there than this.
yes.
And it's a
You
game
know,
that's like all
I
focused on like dashing, and I can get into that.
you know, I think sometimes there, with anything that gets a lot of hate online, I feel like often what happens is there's like one or two like really well-spoken people on YouTube who, make these like, manifestos about all the problems with, you know, this game or whatever, could be any game, could be a company, could be who knows whatever. And
Yeah,
they come up with like this very compelling argument, and that kind of becomes like the points that people keep parroting, like, oh yeah, 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 this, look at what this guy said, yeah, that's why this is so bad. They don't really think about it for themselves so much sometimes,
yes,
like if you just like step back and like is as much as like that guy Nerl, for example, he does have like a lot of interesting videos. I love his, I've not watched a lot of his stuff, but I know you really like his stuff. Like the Majora's Mask 3D video, I agree with 100%. But then he has a lot of, I think, valid. We were talking about his Tears of the Kingdom video, which I didn't watch that much of, but like you were saying, like, the things he's saying aren't wrong, but the difference is like we just had a different perspective about some of those things, some of the things that bothered him. Maybe he just didn't have like the right mindset for that particular game, right?
or I mean,
Or we had like a different mindset about it.
mhm,
And it's like, yes, I could see like why those things might annoy you, perhaps if you were like very, like, I guess like uh, plot driven, or very task driven. Like that's a game where I feel like if you're fighting the fact that the game just wants you to just wander aimlessly and just slowly over time, as you said, create those um, points on the map. uh, if you fight that, if you don't just embrace that and let the game take you on whatever journey you end up taking with it, like I could see you being frustrated with that. But it takes like going into a game or whatever with like just a certain mindset. But I do wonder, like, I don't know, there were probably a lot of videos on this game that, like, people were talking about all the bad points, and I feel like I don't know again, I don't know of any specific situation with this game, but I would not be surprised if there's like a lot of like really high profile videos that people always point to, like, oh yeah, here's all the bad things about Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
And like, you step back at it and look all these years later when
There's a lot of like one-hit deaths going on.
well, it's Mega Man for you. But I don't know. I mean, you look at all these years later, and it's like, the expectations are no longer there. We, it's well established what this is at this point.
Yeah.
And so it's not like
Yeah,
it's not like
ABGN
it's not like we
syndrome.
care about getting our money's worth at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of hate how like flat looking the characters are, just in terms of like the shading, like they especially like your role equivalent, like her eyes are just like there's no life to her eyes, like they just look very flat and
dead.
dead. I mean, she is a robot, but I mean, I think these are supposed to be like sentient robots.
Can I like really just dash indefinitely? Like, I wonder if I'm not taking advantage of how much you can just like really abuse the dash.
I mean, is that like kind of the game's main mechanic?
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, unless things change
Yeah.
once you.
I mean, I think like the kind of like the core mechanic of like Gunvolt, for instance, if I remember correctly, is like sort of like you like dash, but then you can do this like when you like dash and then hit an enemy, then you can like do a bunch of like rapid fire stuff on them or something. It seems cool at first, but then like I kind of got over it. I wasn't that interested by the game. I'm very over the Gunvolt games. Like I wasn't even going to get like I didn't order like that Luminous Avenger X. Like I was like I'm done. Like I've tried these games. I feel like I should like them, but I just don't. I don't.
Did you get the Mighty Gunvolt though, which is the Mega Man
I
one?
did. I was like, okay, I'll give that one a chance, and I have not played it yet, but I'll give that one a chance. But like I didn't get that Luminous Avenger X, but then you accidentally were sent 2 copies.
What? Oh, yeah.
So I ended up with it whether I wanted it or not. But then like my Gunvolt, I'll give that a chance. This is more NES style, but like I feel like when I like Inti Creates games, but they're very hit or miss for me. Like it's
I mean, this feels
well,
like Mega Man.
This is an Inti Creates game. Yeah, I kind of forgot it is actually. When Inti Creates like spends way too much time on storytelling, that's when they really lose me.
Yeah.
Because like I am not looking for story in my Mega Man games. I'm just not. Oops. Hang on a second. There we go. We got a $9 super chat from Nana Cheesecake. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying happy Sunday. Nothing witty this time, so I'll just throw $9 out. Love you guys.
$9.
Thank you. I mean
$9.
nine goes with Nana, sort of. Just replace the vowels.
Nina cheesecake.
999. That's a game. 999.
But I mean,
Not was it 9 persons, 9
number 9
doors, 9 something.
I assume that it's like Nana Cheesecake sent it because of.
Oh, it's Mighty Number 9. Well, yeah,
the
duh.
Mighty Number $9.
There you go. Like, are the bosses that you're fighting like Mighty Number 1 through 8?
I think they have like numbers, yeah.
I mean, it would make sense that you would be Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
This is I don't know if Inti Creates was like the primary developer on this, or if it was like multiple developers working on it, because um like this is definitely outside the style you would expect from Inti Creates. Like I off the top of my head, I can't think of another like purely polygon based game that they've done. Can anyone?
Well, they probably have no desire after this, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, even their pixel games, like in terms of the presentation, can be a little hit or miss because their scaling and pixel grid adherence are often a bit loosey goosey.
That's more like it.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt Mega Man 11 was better. I mean, I did play that.
But you wonder if they only made Mega Man 11 because of this.
Like they were like, oh, we can do better. Like, you know, it's actually kind of crazy to me that, like, as far as I know, I think Mega Man 11 was like developed in house. Like at Capcom. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
That makes sense to me. I mean,
Well, I mean, it does, but it's also surprising that, like, I don't know what internal team they could construct that would. I mean, not that I really know, like, there's not like a lot of like known personalities at Capcom anymore, I guess, you know? Like, oh yeah, like one of the writers on Resident Evil 7 ended up being the director on 8, but like I couldn't tell you what his name is or what he looks like, you know. I mean, it's not like the Mikami and not Inafune. Well, yeah, Inafune was Capcom, and why am I drawing a blank on the Platinum guy? What's his name?
Kamiya?
Kamiya, yeah. Like, you know, those were like big personalities at Capcom. Like, people knew who they were. And like modern Capcom doesn't really have that, but modern Capcom still puts out a lot of good games, but they just haven't like really. There's like not really been like anyone who's like emerged. Is this the boss of the level?
I think so. So can I only permanently damage them if I absorb that power? Ugh. Dang.
I don't know if I buy this. Mega X6 says there's a theory that Capcom was scared to make Mega Man 11 because Keiji Inafune was considered the Mega Man developer. Supposedly, they even donated money to Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter. There's no way Capcom donated money to Mighty Number 9. There's like zero chance. Sean Quinn came back with another 499. Thank you. Saying totally unrelated to anything we're talking about, but I'm curious. Have you ever had the experience of never meet your hero?
You know,
You've probably met more famous people than I have. I would wager a guess.
Yeah. I can't think of any situations where, you know, I met somebody that I really looked up to and I was really disappointed, like in person, or something happened.
You met Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous of that one.
But like off the top of my head, I can't think of like anybody that would fit that description of like, you know, never meet your hero.
Yeah, you were like disappointed, or they were rude or something. Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Same
Um,
here.
I mean,
I need to think on it for a minute, but I've never run into a situation where uh, I was let down.
yeah.
Jeez,
Hmm.
it wouldn't be that bad if you didn't take so long to unfreeze yourself. I don't know what just hit me right there.
Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, I've not met a lot of like,
Um,
really well-known people, and like some of the ones that I have, like, or at least like, I mean, in the retro gaming scene, I'd say people are mostly pretty
That's
cool and
good.
chill and more or less what you'd expect, I guess. Right?
yeah.
Um, I got to meet Rand Miller, and he was great. He was really nice.
There's a. Maybe I'm just like missing some key elements of the gameplay.
I mean, it's funny, sometimes I think, we've met people who, you know, like they're like, MLiG fans. I hate using the term fans. I always like to say like viewers or audience,
Yeah.
because it's like I can't imagine why anyone would be a fan of like us. Why? um, but like, we'll meet them, and they'll think it's like cool, mean us or something. And then we discover like, oh, actually, like they've done something really cool. Like, just like I was talking earlier about the guy who does the art of Nintendo Power, um, and uh,
Come on.
and um, like that's really cool. And like, we've gotten to know Gannyman pretty well, and he was the guy that had like the like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, like Final Fantasy 11 um, information resources back in the day. Like he was like the creator of it, and also like the first American, or I think maybe the first like Western media at all to interview Naoki Yoshida after he became the um, producer of Final Fantasy 14. So, it's like, oh wow, like that's like
Jeez, come
it's so
on. Get
cool.
up.
Like, talking,
Get up
meeting people like who like say hi to us because they like MLiG, but then like we learned that like they've done all these things. They're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so jealous that you got to interview Naoki Yoshida and stuff
there.
like that. Like that's so cool.
Like the unfreezing amount of time it takes to like unfreeze yourself is like obnoxiously
Mm.
long.
Yeah, I for some reason,
There.
K-Lead Gamer mentioned Ronald McDonald, which made me think about how like I saw some talk like 2 days ago about like people were like, oh, the Grimace meme is like so done to death, and I'm like, I'm like so ignorant of the internet that I
Like
was like
the
completely
Grimace birthday. I don't really even know what it means. Is it like a milkshake? Like, what does it taste like? I wonder.
okay. So, well, the only thing I had
So
heard
now you're gonna
previous,
tell me about it because
well,
obviously
the only,
know more about it than I do.
well, the only thing I had heard about it was like there was that they McDonald's made a Game Boy Color game.
Come on, Will.
Like, did you hear that?
I mean, I heard that, but
Perhaps you should show a bit of restraint, Dr.
Yeah, Aaron Monado says we should stream it. Like, you can put literally, I mean, it's a Game Boy Color game. You can put it on EverDrive and play it on real hardware. Um, I mean, I've not played it, but like that was the only thing I heard. And then like just saw some conversation somewhere about oh, like oh the Grimace memes are over. I'm so sick of it, and I'm just like I am so isolated. I don't even know what you're talking about. So I looked this up, and there's this whole like I guess it's mostly TikTok, which probably explains why I
poppycock. It
had
says
no.
poppycock.
That's a great thing. That's a great word to say.
It was poppycock.
But yeah, I think it's mostly a TikTok thing, which probably explains why. I have not really seen anything about it, but it seems to be that people are doing this this whole thing where they're like, hey guys, it's your boy, and I'm trying out the new Grimace shake or whatever, and they take a sip and they're like, that's good, and then the camera just like immediately cuts to like sort of like a found footage type thing where they've died in like some horrible way.
Oh, that's funny.
It's kind of fun. And sometimes there'll be like a purple hand stain or something like on the wall next. It's kind of funny. I mean, I thought it was funny, at least considering I had not been overexposed to it. I had a reason.
Will you look up this? I mean, I don't know if you can do this on your laptop.
Look up the boss order?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? I feel like I had another reason for bringing up the Grimace thing, though. I don't remember what it was.
So it's purple stuff. Is it purple stuff?
It is purple stuff.
Grimace's birthday. Somebody's getting Grimace's birthday for Christmas.
Well, I mean, if a physical copy gets made, maybe so.
Like, there is no way that some company is not talking about making a physical copy of that.
Oh, I'm sure it's got. I mean, like it feels like a shoe-in, unless like McDonald's just like for some reason has no interest. Mighty No 9.
Did Grimace used to be a McDonald's villain?
I did do a little research on that. It sounds like he was originally introduced as Evil Grimace, like that was his name, and I think he stole milkshakes like Hamburglar steals hamburgers. But then I think he just became Ronald's best friend at some point.
Like, what is he? He's just like this,
I mean, I looked up. I looked
like
up Grimace on the McDonald's fandom wiki. It said that something along the lines of he's a purple creature of indeterminate species. Let's see, boss guide. So you've beaten one boss, right?
I've beaten the ice level. The Waterworks Bureau.
Oh, well, the on this boss fact, it says Cryosphere, which is Mighty Number 2.
Yeah, that's what is the first one
of the Waterworks Bureau. Cryosphere can be a huge pain if you don't have her weakness.
Oh.
So. Looks like her weakness is fire explosion, so fire is probably going to be your last one. Let's see. What? Oops. Wow. What did I do? I'm trying to search on the page.
There was there's $4.99 from Sean Quinn. Oh, we already said that. We already saw it. There was a $5 from Bubba Matt 812.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I got distracted.
saying, "What's up, y'all? Hope all is well." It's your boy Bubba D Matt back with another super chat. Not really. I added that in there.
Hope all is well.
Listen to
y'all.
y'all while doing roast chicken drumsticks with white cheddar mac mixed with steamed broccoli. Man, I love steamed broccoli. Has anybody in the chat ever had? I don't know if this is like a Florida thing, but has anybody ever had Everglades seasoning? It's something like
No.
I grew up with. You know, my grandma got it because she lived in Florida half of the year and got this stuff called Everglades seasoning. And I thought it was gone. And then years ago, I found it on a website and I bought it. And I got 2 things of it, and it's lasted like 15 years now.
Wow.
For us to go all through it. They have like 2 different kinds. They got like the MSG and MSG-less flavored kinds. But I'd be curious if anybody in the chat has ever had Everglades seasoning. It's really good on steamed broccoli.
Before we get too much more sidetracked, the one that is weak to frozen liquid is Mighty Number 5.
Okay.
Battalion in the military base.
All right. Thank you.
And there was a $1.99 from Eric Schusler with a very timely question saying, any nostalgia for Indiana Jones / interest in Dial of Destiny? Obviously, I don't think we should really talk about what happens in Dial of Destiny, but you told me just yesterday, you're like, you know what, I decided to go to Indiana Jones on a whim, and it was totally good. I actually didn't even know that it had just come out. Like, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
And-
I didn't know it came out until essentially that day, and I was like, oh, you know, I feel like that's something I can. I still want to see into this. I still haven't seen Spider-Verse yet either.
Mhm.
But there's just something about Indiana Jones. I feel like, oh, you know, that's just. I've seen all of them in the theater, so I need to. Although, I mean, I don't know for a fact if I've seen.
You couldn't have seen the original run of Raiders in the theater.
I mean, there's a chance I did.
I thought you said Return of the Jedi was your first theater movie.
That's
That
like
was
that's the
83.
first. No, that wasn't my first theater movie. That's that's just one of my earliest memories.
Oh, okay.
That's like my earliest
You would
memory
have
of going
been
to.
really young. I mean, the first movie's 80 or 81.
I thought it was. Yeah, I guess probably not. But I did see a 35mm print of it like 15 years ago. So, but still.
Yeah, that kind of counts. Well, anyway, so since you had said that, and I had some time to kill just before the stream, I went and saw it too.
Yeah. And
it was good. It wasn't great.
I mean,
but-
I thought it was pretty. It was pretty. It was totally decent. And
I think you liked it more than I did. I mean, I don't know if it was just like the audio mix or like just like Mads Mikkelsen's attempted a German accent, or if it was just like the speakers in there. But I've never had a hard time understanding Mads Mikkelsen before. But like I felt like I had a hard time with a lot of the dialogue in it. But it is really, I mean, it's great to see him, and I mean, he is a perfect fit for Indiana Jones, I would say. Like, it's really nice to see him, you know, be a part of the series, and even if it's this late along, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's been in James Bond, he's been in Star Wars, he's been in Indiana Jones now, he's been in Marvel. You know, he was the villain in the first Doctor Strange. You know, so I mean,
I forget that he was in that. I forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fun actor. He's always very enjoyable. But like, for some reason in the theater, I had a hard time understanding like half of what he said.
I don't know though. Like I just
So early on I had a hard time following the plot. Like, okay, who's with who's doing what for what reason? Like, what's everyone's like? Everyone wants this thing, but why? I mean, I don't
right.
want to get into any specifics, obviously, but overall, I mean, yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, inessential, but it's not like the Indiana Jones movies really have like a strong ongoing plot or anything anyway. So I mean, you could
Right.
say that like none of them are like essential to any sort of overarching story or anything. Um, but
Yeah. I mean, I definitely thought it was better than the last one.
yeah, what was it? Uh, was it on our stream where something
talked
came up
about
about how like the only thing was it you, did you say like the only thing you knew was that like Mutt is explained as for not being there with like or something
Yeah.
that
And
you
you
had
know
heard
what?
that?
Like his like explanation for not being there was like probably like one of the best parts of the movie. It was like
I agree actually. Like uh
was
it like kind of made Mutt's existence worthwhile.
yes.
I agree. I agree. You're right. That was one of the better parts of the movie. Um, yeah, like it wasn't like anything that like actively annoyed me about it, which you can't say for Crystal Skull, right?
Yes.
Uh, but like it's like not going to be like just like an all-time favorite like Raiders is though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
but at the
we
same
always
time, it's
we,
like
we say it all the
what
time, but
is better
yeah,
than it is?
yeah. I mean,
like
yeah, we
nothing's
say it all
really-
the time. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect movie. So,
Yeah.
like when I think of perfect movies, like the movies that come to mind are, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future 1, and like you always like to throw Terminator 2 in there. I think it's Terminator 2 is definitely up there. I think like Terminator. I mean, I'm like more of a Terminator 1 guy, but both of those are definitely
I
up
mean,
there.
I always say like Aliens.
I have got to rewatch those.
I
I've only
I
seen Alien
specifically
and
the second
Aliens
one
once.
is, you know, is the one that I
But
feel is.
yeah, I mean, those are definitely,
Oh, I wish I could.
from what I remember, I would definitely consider those in the vein of perfect movies.
So I can
I mean,
dash a whole bunch.
in terms of like movies, like when I think of movies that I've seen that like were made like after the year 2000, like the only one off the top of my head that I can think of that I would like say is like a perfect movie is Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
Hot Fuzz is kind of a perfect movie. Like it's very much got that like Back to the Future style brilliance, I would say, where like almost every single thing that comes up is like there's a reason for it and it comes back later, you know?
mm-hmm.
And while it is, I would say definitely not as good of a movie, like I've said before, but kind of related to Hot Fuzz. I think World's End was just one of the best movie watching experiences I've ever had because I knew basically nothing about it, and I certainly did not know about the twist. And that was like, when I went back and looked, like the twist was spoiled in trailers.
Oh, really?
Which I guess isn't surprising because it's like, they got to advertise this movie and the twist is pretty compelling. But like, I had no idea. And just like this slow realization of like, oh, this is actually happening. It was just incredible. Like, just such a perfect, unspoiled thing. I loved it. But yeah, I mean, obviously both of us love Indiana Jones, especially.
Come
You know,
on.
I love all three of the original trilogy of it, and uh, I'm not opposed to watching King of the Crystal Skull again sometime.
Just to see.
Just to see if my feelings shifted on it at all. But
Yeah.
Dawn of Destiny was fun, but I don't see it being something I would regularly revisit.
So,
But yeah, I was not offended by it.
what is your major malfunction?
Harrison Ford is very old now, though. I mean,
Yes.
like, I don't know that. I mean, maybe I shouldn't put it that way, but like, we've talked about before how like he just plays like he's the same character in all of his movies now. I mean, I guess you could say he's kind of always been the same.
I don't think so. There was a time when he was not.
Yeah, but like, he's obviously played some of the most iconic characters of all time. And, now, you know, there's been all these movies from Star Wars to Blade Runner to Indiana Jones that brought him back, and it's like he just, I mean, I don't mean anything bad by it, but he just, he can't quite tap into it like he used to.
No.
They're just,
No, I mean, I always say that it was like after the Fugitive is when it changed. That's when I noticed the change.
Alex Gavin says Crystal Skull was better directed but dumber than Dial of Destiny, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I understand what you mean by that. It is like a little sad to think that like Indiana Jones like ends on a movie that wasn't directed by Spielberg, and also like if I'm not mistaken, I think I read at some point that this was going to be John Williams' final soundtrack.
I guess
think
that makes sense. But
I think he's like totally retired after this. I think I read that a while back.
The war must be stopped, Private Nick.
Mission clear.
although, if anybody has watched the show Shrinking on Apple TV, which has Harrison Ford in it, he's very good in that. He's very funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got the Rex Election Battalion.
Well, this says your reward is remote cannon
Okay.
for beating Battalion. It looks like Mighty Number 4, Seismic, is weak against the remote cannon.
Okay. Seismic.
You all set then?
There's not gonna be a Goonies sequel.
All
Now.
set then?
There was
I think Richard Donner died too.
System ready.
There you see there is a. You see
yeah, there's a few. I need to catch up on 3.
we're doing this level again. Shoot.
There was a 199 from Will Snutherly with no comment, but thank you.
Do you think
And $5 from Mega X6. Thank you. Saying, you ever watch a sequel or play a sequel so bad that the entire series drops a little or a lot, in your opinion?
Rise of Skywalker is definitely.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah. I mean, I liked episode 7 when it came out. Like, it didn't really go anywhere, but I saw it as being like a good setup. Like, I liked the new characters. I thought that they spent I felt like they spent the effort that they needed to make me be interested in where these characters go, right? And turned out they didn't really have a plan for where they were going to go, and they just made it up as they went, and it didn't shape up in the best way.
Roger that, Professor.
I mean, I've got my issues with episode 8 as well, but like they couldn't even commit to that though, like even though I didn't love what happened in 8, like if they committed to the consequences of it, episode 9 still could have been more interesting, right?
Yeah.
What was so? Oh, you're just stuck hanging there.
Yeah, and I thought that,
Were you stuck or were you?
no, I was
just-
gonna like see if he like turned around and like went away.
Oh,
Carry on, Beck. Roger that, Professor.
Amazing!
Amazing.
yeah. I mean, my biggest problem with 8. I really only have like 2. Like, I mean, to be honest, I've only watched it once, but like I only really have 2 problems with 8. One is like the whole like, what was it, the casino planet or whatever.
Bring it on.
That like they spent so much time on,
Bring it on.
like that had 0 impact on the plot.
Yeah.
Like I wish like they had just come up with some way to make that whole scenario like matter. And what makes that like hurt all the worse, I think, is that
Professor?
Oh,
like if you're going to kill off Luke Skywalker, like
yeah.
okay, fine, I guess, but
Turning back now.
like the only reason he had to die is because everyone like made wrong decisions the entire movie. And like he had to go in there and like slow down the bad guys so they could escape, right? Like
Yeah.
he died because everyone made terrible decisions the entire movie. Like they shouldn't have been on the planet they were at that time. Like it was just disaster after disaster after disaster, and Luke had to die for everyone messing up. So that was a bummer. But like they still, at the end of the day, though, like some of the things they did were conceptually interesting, but then they just like backpedaled on all of it. So then you got episode 9 is just kind of a mishmash. But yeah, but I will say like, um, I will say like I don't think that this had as much of an effect on you, but like when I later played, I think it made me feel more like a Star Wars fan again than the prequels ever did. Or I don't mean the prequels, the sequels. The prequels, I mean, back when they were coming out, like me and my friends were so
Yeah, I mean, you
huge
were
into them.
like the perfect.
I was the
age
right age.
for that.
I was younger than you, and like we went to episode 1 and 2 like an obscene number of times. I mean, this was back
I
when
can't
like
imagine
Matt.
like wanting to watch episode 1 or episode 2 more than once. I was like,
I mean, we
over
were
it
just
immediately.
so nerd. We were just nerding out hard about it, I mean, matinees were $5, back then. We just went so many times.
I don't realize there was like dialogue happening.
I don't know if I can think of anything like that having happened in like video games for me. Off the top of my head, anyway. Can you?
In terms of games, I'm sure that there's. I mean, I don't know, like story-wise, probably. Oh, geez, come on. This is like really.
Oh, I see Will Snutterly saying, screwed up the last super chat. I apologize. I've been behind on streams and such. What's the
How do I
stats of Analog
do that?
Frontiers? The stats
Do
of
I gotta
Analog
hang?
Frontiers.
Jeez, this is like.
the Stats of Analog Frontiers, I shot some B-roll for it last night, believe it or not. Things have been a little crazy lately, but I promise that the Stats of Analog Frontiers is going to be moving forward quite soon. We decided a few months ago that we're reconfiguring it from being parts 4 and 5 to combining themes that we wanted to cover in 4 and 5 into a singular final part 4. And I know that, like, on the surface might sound difficult because you're like, oh, I want more episodes. But I think it's actually going to make a lot more sense. I think
This is really obnoxious.
it fits together, I think, much better because I always kind of struggled with the separate nature of parts 4 and 5. I knew that there was no way either of those episodes were going to be as popular as the existing episodes. But then when you put them together, I think that kind of shifts the way the narrative is told, I think, in a way that will make both the themes of both episodes stronger than they would have been separate. And I think part 4 now will be just as likely of a candidate as a favorite episode of Analog Frontiers as any of the existing 3. So that's the plan. Like I said, I did actually have a chance to shoot some B-roll yesterday for it, and yeah, things have been a little crazy, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, and I am going to be able to finally soon dedicate more time to it. There was a $5 super chat from good old Jonathan Henson. Good to see you here. Saying, slap or yeet. Streets of Rage 2, Ninja Warriors / Saviors, or Final Fight CD. Ooh.
I mean, that's like very difficult. But I can do that.
I mean, Final Fight CD, you could always play the arcade Final Fight.
Yeah.
Since he's specifying CD, now Ninja Warriors / Saviors, you've also got...
I mean, I think that I would have to keep Streets of Rage 2.
I think so, too.
It's just too good.
Yeah. Streets of Rage 2
I think Final Fight
really
CD
good.
is the one that I would get rid of, like, first, though.
Yeah. I think I would, too, just because it's clear that in this... the configuration of this question, that you could still play other versions of Final Fight. So even though I do like the CD version the best, especially just because of the music, but really just because of the music, I don't especially love the tone of the music on the original arcade version, but the way those tunes are remixed for CD they've become excellent. Ninja Warriors / Saviors, I mean, that is a really good game, but the only time I've played through it is the new version. I've only played through it one time, so I don't know, I would be okay sacrificing either the Super Nintendo version or the new version, but it would be a tough ask to get rid of both. But I would happily, if I could keep one of those versions, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's okay. But Streets of Rage 2, I mean, there's really only
Look at the clipping right there.
there's only one Streets of Rage 2, and it's I mean, that's not true. There's like Game Gear, and I guess I assume Master System Streets
Okay,
of
who's
Rage
next?
2. But yes, it would be too hard to get rid of Streets of Rage 2. That's I mean, all those games do slap, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay, who did you just fight?
The mine.
Seismic. You got the okay. You went to the mines and you got strong charge.
Yeah.
Uh,
I hate how you equip the weapons in this. I wish you could just use
why?
L and R to go through them, but you got to hold down L and then you choose the thing, and then you have to press X or triangle to like activate it.
You know what I really like is how in Mega Man 11, it's got like the radial select, and the bosses are in like
Yeah.
the spot where they are
Bless you.
on the level map. You know.
Mhm.
Okay, so now that you have the strong charge, you want to go for Mighty Number 7, Brandish on the highway,
All right.
who gives you the normal cut. The normal cut. I mean, that sounds like that sounds like a Pokemon HM.
The normal cut.
The normal cut.
I'm playing this on the PS5, y'all.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably pretty smooth on the PS5.
I mean, it's as smooth as it could possibly be. So this level makes me think of like Strider, kind of. Strider 2.
There was a notification that Joshua Helmicke has been a member for 44 months in a row.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's even more than Eric Benoit, who said that being a member was the second best decision he ever made after marrying his wife. He might want to consult with Joshua Helmicke whether he still feels that way 44 months in.
We'll have to talk about it. Have a discussion.
He said, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones only consists of 3 movies. Terminator, only 2 movies. Aliens, only 1 movie, plus AVP for funsies. I mean, are you saying Aliens, you're not counting Alien? Like you're counting Aliens as a separate thing from Alien?
It's saying what? That there's only 1 movie in Aliens? Are they saying?
Plus Alien versus Predator just for funsies.
Oh,
but,
so that maybe I know. I think
but so I don't know if he's
Jeff
discrediting
Helmicke
the
might not
original
like
Alien.
Because I mean, I can understand that.
I mean, I've said it many times before, but like, I feel like Alien 1 and Terminator 1, even though they don't have traditional horror movie villains or monsters. Structurally, I think they follow, the conventions of a horror movie quite well. And then, it's like they're like perfect horror movies, but non-traditional horror movies. And then their sequels are like perfect action movies. I say that, again, as I said earlier, like I've only seen Alien and Aliens 1 time each, and I really need to correct that. But I do remember both being extremely good. Oh, Joshua Helmicke says Alien doesn't exist. That's
The first one doesn't exist. I mean,
it's amazing. I think.
Yeah, the first one's great. I mean, the second one can't exist without that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
I
an
can
action
understand like
movie
that
like the
being
second.
that, like like
Yeah,
not
it's a
like
complete.
in 3.
It's a
For sure.
completely different type of movie. I mean, I've always had like a how bad can it be mindset toward 3. Like, how bad could it be?
Have you not seen 3?
Don't tell me anything about it.
Wait,
All
you
I
never
know-
seen Alien 3?
I have not.
Oh.
Don't tell me. Don't even be like, well, you at least know that no, I don't. I don't know anything about it other
Wow.
than the fact that people say it's bad. But how bad could it be?
Well,
How bad could it be? I guess I'll find out someday.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that it's bad. I guess it's just that after 2, it's disappointing.
No, I'm sure it's not going to be as good, but is it going to be bad? I guess I'll find out.
I mean, are you planning on watching it like soon or something, or is it?
No,
just,
not soon. It's just it's been on my there's a million movies I should watch. There was a super chat with a message from Will Snutherly responding to what I was saying about Analog Frontiers, saying, "Awesome, look forward to it." I was also, when I was listening to the Here's My Question for You podcast on my drive today, you were commenting on how, as you often do, how much you enjoy authoring Blu-ray discs.
I like what?
Authoring Blu-ray discs.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of got thoughts going through my mind of when we'll finally be making that Analog Frontiers Blu-ray set.
Yeah, I mean, I could theoretically
I'm
start
excited.
on it if I wanted to.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a need to do that
I mean,
just yet. I mean, I'd like to make some exclusive behind the scenes content for
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Of course,
that's what
we
I
have to
mean, I'm
record
saying
audio
just, like, get
commentaries and stuff.
What's
like-
there, like ready for it. Like,
I mean, I think it would be fun for for us to like record the commentary like like in person. Like if we have the chance to do so, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Rather than doing it remote. I mean, we could, but. But yeah, I think that'll be. I'm excited to finally get that out there.
Yeah.
But part 4 has to come first, of course, and like I say, it's been very, very, very tough getting the time to work on it lately. But things are about to turn around. Or they are turning around, rather. Because I did shoot for it yesterday. Kaylee Gamer says, PS5 dropping frames on this level? I mean, it's always hard to tell with a stream.
I mean, it doesn't. I've not noticed any. Is this like a big problem for other people? I wonder.
I don't know. Maybe it just looked funny on the stream. I mean, sometimes too, it's not even like frame drops that will look weird. It's just like there could be like the camera like keyframe motion can be jerky or something like that.
I really don't care about the.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, story is never what I'm looking for in my Mega Man. Anyone play Live Alive, and when you play the Future Robot, think they got this from Alien? I mean, I don't think they're trying to hide it. I don't think anyone who ever saw Alien didn't think that when they played that chapter in Live Alive. I mean, I think it's I think it is an obvious and loving tribute. They are unashamed in showing their inspiration there. Did Analog Frontier start before the pandemic? Production started. And the first episode released like a month or two before everything shut down. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. And but you know what? One of the things that's exciting about it is in the past 3 months, we actually got 3 new interviews for Part 4, which is pretty neat. I think that's something that, because of the pandemic, I thought wasn't going to be possible. So you know, if anything, it taking so long to finish has made that possible. I mean, the intent was always like to kind of run with like, you know, I mean, you certainly, of the interviews that have been in parts 1, 2, and 3, you certainly haven't seen everything from those interviews, and not everything that is going to, you know, many of those interviews are going to appear again in Part 4, but then there's, you know, also, you know, interviews that a couple of interviews that we had held back on, and then, like I say, 3 in addition to those that I never thought we would have a chance to get. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Like the weapons in this are just like stupid.
Does anyone, you know, speaking of Live Alive, does anyone, has there been like I remember looking for it for a few Asia English physical of that, because like I would love to have like a 60 FPS physical of that. Like
Yeah, I don't think that there is. I thought it's like because didn't Nintendo help them with that?
You know, yeah. I think there might have been some Nintendo money involved, maybe.
Where are we watching you play Strider HD? I do like Strider HD. Strider 3.
Yeah, we're not talking HD. Like we're talking that like Metroidvania sequel, right?
Yeah.
You've got like isn't that an Asia physical or something? Or is it Japan physical?
It's Japan, I think. Just only PS3 though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But you've got like digital of the PS4 version, I guess.
Yeah. Like this attack is like so awkward.
Kaylee Gamer's asking, so would you pay $10 new for this physical? Now that you've played it, would you pay $10 for this? For a new copy? Is it worth that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, has this stream done anything to shift the needle of your expectations?
No, it's like about where I was.
It's about what you expect. So it's like not the worst thing ever, but it's like not amazing at all.
Right. I mean, they just like talk constantly. My body, my blades. Like just. I don't understand like how
they gotta
he's
have personality though, Coury.
Yes.
They have to have personality. Like how will you become, you know, intimately familiar with you know
what was the Mega Man Legends one that he was gonna do? It has like the funniest name to it for some reason.
Oh, like was it like Red something?
Well, it was like red something, but then it was like it had like a really hilarious subtitle to it.
I'm gonna look it up. Inafune Red. Red Ash.
But it's like called something else.
Red Ash, the indelible legend.
That's it.
I don't remember ever hearing that part.
The indelible legend.
The
Indelible.
indelible,
Like,
like I don't even know off the top of my head what indelible means. I'm going to laugh if I search for indelible and the first thing that comes up is Red Ash. Okay. Red Ash does not come up on the first page of Google results. What does it mean to be indelible? Indelible means making marks that cannot be removed, or like impossible to erase, remove, or blot out. So the indelible legend would mean like a legend that like could not possibly be erased.
the indelible legend.
The indelible legend. Wow, that's certainly a creative choice. Red Ash, man, and they put that up before this was even out, when this game was already controversial. And they're like, oh, and we want to do an anime and all this other stuff too. It's like, the thing that drove me crazy about it, it wasn't even the fact that, that this wasn't out yet, and that Inafune still needed to earn people's trust outside of Capcom. The thing that just got me about it was that it was so
I
tone
cannot even
deaf.
tell what's happening when that. Like, how I dodge them?
It was so tone deaf as to like why people even wanted Mega Man Legends 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mega Man is trapped on the moon. Those games, are, very charming in their own right. Like, we want to see that version of Mega Man again and have closure. Right? Like, the game and the art style is great, but like something that is like that is not a replacement for Mega Man Legends 3.
I can't beat this guy. Like, I don't even understand. I almost don't even want to play anymore.
Uh-oh.
Is it gonna send me back to the beginning of the level? Yep.
Oh no. Ah. Chris V is quite the scholar here, pointing out that indelible has the same root as delete.
Excel recover. You have no Excel recover too.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Indelible would mean, indeed, cannot be deleted.
Can I add 9 lives here?
Or, by the logic of inflammable, which means flammable, perhaps it means can be deleted. Maybe Inafune should have thought about that. Because Red Ash certainly was. The legend was deleted. Are you looking if you can make it easier?
I just more lives. I just
Oh,
wonder
I
if there's
didn't-
like any kind of like I just felt like
Just
I
turn
didn't
on
really
story
understand,
mode
like,
or
I
whatever?
didn't understand like how he was damaging me, because it seems like it was impossible. Like, he was not hitting me, but was damaging me. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just not very fun. How many post-robot levels are there? I wonder. I mean, it's probably.
Let's see if I can figure that out.
Good. Good. Good.
Indelible legend.
Nice clear.
Here we go. Here we go.
So I'm just wondering if it's like worth like trying to finish it.
Let's see. Is this? Is this guide not finished?
In there. Use
I
Excel recover. I can't use it. I don't know what it means. But is that like I don't know if that recovers health or something like that. Which
Here we go.
I guess is would make sense.
Bring it on.
so this there's another guide and it seems to be unfinished, and I need to read the author's opening words on this guide. It says this walkthrough/guide will go over the amazing and underrated Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9 is an absolutely amazing gem that you must play. It is very cheap right now and only $7.99 on the Wii U store, which you can go buy there right now. It is also available on X1 and PS4 as well as PC/Steam. This game had very medium to even completely horrible reviews and rating scores. Even the overall fan census is bad. I am not really sure if it is negative hype or maybe Mega Man is truly dead. However, this game is truly a spiritual successor to the Mega Man series. I also loved every minute of the game. If you believe in my guides and me at all, I would not lie to you. I cannot make a guide if I don't enjoy a game. If you've seen the games I have played or wrote about, this is one of them, and I promise that it is awesome. It is also created by Kenji Inafune, who is the original creator of the legendary Mega Man games by the mighty Capcom. That's not true. In my opinion, if my opinion and any of this means something to you, give this game and my guide a chance. I could almost promise anyone that likes my work will appreciate this game.
It just feels like they're really.
Here we go.
I wonder if they have like a lot of fans.
Well, now I gotta see like what other.
What else has he done?
Okay, so
Bring it on.
the
What
username
else
is
have they done?
GFAC Codebreak. What else have they done? Well, you know what? I mean, they've done stuff on, relatively recent stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Metroid Dread, Elden Ring. So you know what? I gotta respect this guy for, keeping game facts alive and current, right? Like,
Yeah.
Old folks like us like to go to game facts when we need game information. Old YouTubers like us don't like to go to YouTube to find out stuff about games. We want to read about it in, text format, dang it.
Well, it takes a long time to get through or to like watch a video for the party.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's more spoilers, right? Like I just want to sometimes I'm just looking for information. I'm trying to find out what all they've done guides on. What if some stuff might not be full walkthroughs, but they did one on Zombie U on the other Wii U game they did was Zombie U, which I really like that game. And they've done all kinds of stuff. Dark Souls 3, Devil May Cry 5, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 15, God of War Reboot, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat 11, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7, Shovel Knight, Streets of Rage 4, Dragon's Dogma, Diablo 3, Dead Cells, Prey, Yooka-Laylee.
They've done a lot.
Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Mario Odyssey, Owlboy, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. Mega Man 11? Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? So
this dude just said my blade's hunger.
so you know what? You know those are some.
I've been waiting for this pain. Isn't that what Gray Fox says?
Yeah, like hurt me more, Snake.
Uh-oh, did the
Yes.
die?
I,
My blade's
I feel like there's gotta be this whole like thing in Japanese culture about like, I mean, just
honor
based
and,
on like pain and like you only can really truly know someone through battle.
yes.
Right?
My blade's hunger. I mean, at least he's honest about it, right? He's really in tune with the emotions of his blades, you know.
But yeah, I mean, you know, so if we like the other games that this GameFAQs writer covers, such as Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, as he says, you know, I could almost promise anyone that likes my work will appreciate this game. He could almost promise it, but he doesn't promise it. But then earlier he said, though, I promise that it is awesome. So, sounds like a little bit of a wobbly promise there.
Yeah.
This audio skipping past few weeks is bogus. Hate having to keep restarting the app. Must be an app problem? Or your device problem? Unless anyone else is getting that. Sounds like Q46 was having issues. Daily Gamers watching on Xbox and seems to be fine. No, some people are saying the stream is stuttering. I mean, it looks fine for me, but I'm watching it 480p on Hotel.
I thought I had like a catastrophic computer failure earlier today.
Oh yeah. You were just saying you were doing like a RAM check or something.
Well, I had to like I got a blue screen, which is like a major blue screen. I
feel like that's not something you see much anymore.
No, I mean I get them sometimes, but this was like a one that that meant that like hardware, like there was like some sort of hardware failure. Because what happened afterwards is like it didn't load Windows; it went right to the BIOS.
Oh.
It was WHEA uncorrectable error, and it like sent me to the BIOS screen, and I like for some reason it reset my what is it, like the the UEFI settings or whatever for some reason. Whatever.
I don't really know what that is.
It's just like I don't know. It has something to do with like whatever drive you pick when you like want to load that you install Windows on or whatever. But I hadn't had anything like that to that extent. He just said must slice, must dice.
It sounds like Wait, I saw concept check say it's fine after rebooting, and then now it says message retracted. So maybe it's not fine. I don't know. I mean, I have the sound off, of course, so I don't know if that could. Stream still has audio stuttering. Corey's audio sounds like Kernel on MGS2. So, I mean, do we have problems?
I don't know.
that
I haven't heard
we
myself
need-
come back to me, but I don't know why it would have problems.
I mean, do we need to like restart the stream or something?
But is anybody else saying that, or is anybody else having issues? I mean, it's like
It
it's,
sounds like several people have some weirdness. Like it sounds like it's mostly an audio thing. Well, we have Sizwiv saying it's working fine on Chrome on Mac OS. You know, this is embarrassing to admit, but for the longest time, you know, I just thought like
so frustrating. This guy is just like really obnoxious.
for the longest time I thought I couldn't figure out why YouTube video playback just never quite seemed smooth on my computer, and it turned out that I had GPU acceleration disabled in the Chrome settings.
Oh, well, let me know.
And
Maybe it's the I don't know. Maybe it's the filter or something like that I had on the audio. I don't know. Let me know if it.
I don't know. It sounds like people are not having problems on certain devices. Like Chris Wires is saying, maybe a problem with iPhones, not having this problem on my Pixel or Windows PC. So it might just be the internet being funky.
Above you. Strike me down. My body, my blades, they have will all their own.
If we ever played Monster Sanctuary on Steam, I'm not familiar with it. We aren't heavy Steam users. We tend to we like our physical media, so we tend to gravitate toward console. Although you do have a Steam Deck.
There. I guess I had to like keep the thing activated and drive around with it.
K-Lead Gamer says, I'm in the UK. The internet is still using Roman tech here. I like the idea of the internet coming down aqueducts.
Yeah. Oh, there was $5 from Alex Gavin. Thank you.
Sorry,
Saying sub gents.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Disc 2 of Panzer Dragoon Saga yesterday. Game is awesome. Forget MGS4. That's the title that needs to be saved from a bygone console. I think I played the disc 3 on it. You know, that first disc goes real fast. I should go back to it, or just like start it over, because it's
like not that long of a game,
not
but it's
that
4
long.
discs,
Okay,
right?
who am I going after next? By the way, I beat.
Oh,
it.
you did it.
Yeah. It's great though. It's a very good.
Yeah, I got the Japanese version just to have it. You know, that used to not be expensive,
Azel?
but I
Azel.
think it's kind of become. Yeah.
I've always
Let's see.
called
So
it
you
Azel.
just did the highway level,
Yeah.
right?
I
You know,
got
for
1, 3, 6, and 8.
I can't believe this boss that you describe as being so over the top. His weapon is normal cut.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Next, you want to go for Mighty Number 3, Dynatron, in the power plant.
You are all set then?
System ready?
I don't like. There's there is an aspect to this that makes that it just does feel like almost like very unfinished.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that wouldn't be surprising because clearly they
were too busy thinking about what they were going to do with the indelible legacy. Like they were bored with this. They're like, oh, how can we? I'm ready to get moving on to the indelible legacy now. I mean, this is Spark Mandrill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this was a troubled development. I mean, there's no two ways about it. So, it shouldn't be surprising that it might feel unfinished. Do PS5 controllers drift much? Mine seems to be doing it real bad in Final Fantasy 16. I mean, I mean, people talk about stick drift being an issue with potentially any modern official controllers. But I mean, I have personally not ever had that issue on, any Joy-Con, any Switch Pro controller,
Yeah, same
any DualSense. I've got 3 DualSense controllers. Any Xbox One controller or Series X controller. The only system that I think I've even really experienced any stick drift on, to be honest, is PS2. And even then, like controllers that I've seen it happen on, it only seems to affect a small number of games. They just have like really small. It's too small as a dead zone. I kind of tend to like rotate through my my DualSense controllers. Like I use like a different one every night. Mostly because, well, the reason is because I've got 3 DualSense controllers, and I've got a charging dock with only two slots on it, right? And I might have kind of shown before. Obviously, this would be something I would show off more in detail in a tour video. But I've kind of been doing this thing for a little while where I got these like plastic tubs at IKEA. They have this. They're not like the normal like tubs that you think of where they've got like a lid that snaps on top. Like the lid just kind of sits on top. There's no like snapping mechanism to it. So it's very easy to lift up, and the tub itself has like a hole in one side. I think it's mostly designed for like putting your thumb into, just to make it easier to like pick up or something like that. But I noticed that, it's got this hole. That means I could run wires into it. So my idea was, I thought, well, there's like the controller docks and stands episode, right? But since then, I've kind of taken more of a mindset of keeping the charging docks out of the dust. So I've got a lot of chargers now actually behind like, there's little like cube inserts that you can get, for like Calyx units and stuff like that. And I've also got these baskets. And so I've got these, my charging dock is like actually inside this like basket thing with a hole in the back. And so since I can only charge 2 controllers at a time, like what I do is like I lift the lid, I take a controller off, and then with the space that's empty now, the controller that I was just using, I put on that, and then I close it, and then I set the controller that I just took off the thing on top of the tub, and then next time I play PS5, I'll use the controller that's already out and then swap again. So that way, like my PS5 controllers, I guess, are being sort of worn down somewhat evenly. But like honestly, I wouldn't say any of them like feel noticeably worn in any significant way. You know, I'd say my launch DualSense still feels fine.
I just use my purple one. I used my white one till I got a second one. I think it's more. I'd rather just wear one down until it's like done.
I mean, you know, it would be really interesting to see if some sort of study could be done on like how people use controllers. And like if that has an effect on how likely they are to experience stick drift or any other just issues with the controller being worn down, because maybe I just have like a light touch, because like I've said many times, like my N64 sticks are fine. Like I did, you know, play Mario Party 1 and attempted some high scores on like the rotating mini games and stuff. And even had the blister. I had the blister on my head, the Mario Party blister. I had it. You know, I played Smash Brothers a fair bit, not as obsessively as some people, but a fair bit. And like maybe I just have a lighter touch. Like, you know, John Lennon was talking about how, you know, a lot of people, you know, how he loves motion blur, and you know, a lot of people just like can't stand it. And he was saying like he thinks that the motion blur implementation in Final Fantasy 16 is like a really high quality motion blur implementation. And there's so many people that are just like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's actually one of the worst. And he said that, you know, he had a chance to observe someone who does not like motion blur playing the game at 30 frames per second. And, you know, he observed that the way that they attempt to use the camera in the game is like totally different from how he does it. And I think I do somewhat similar to John, where like when I'm moving around, like I actually like to move the camera very slowly and like almost make like cinematic angles. Like I just like to enjoy looking at and taking in the game world, like just kind of at my own pace. And you know, so I'm not making like a lot of like herky jerky movements or anything. Yeah, that's something that like I actually think a lot about, how like I don't like a lot of times how PC gameplay footage looks, because like sure, don't get me wrong,
That was easy.
a mouse, well, there's that the power of the normal cut.
Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, sure, mouse aiming is extremely accurate. I don't care that much about that accuracy, so that's why I'm fine playing shooters on console. But like I don't necessarily love looking at that, you know, the it's just like the slight tilt you can make with changing viewpoint, you know, and moving it in a more sort of smooth motion with a controller. Like to me it makes for more visually pleasing video.
Yeah. I still have not booted. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I do wonder if like maybe there's just a difference in the way that people use controllers, and maybe that contributes to the problem. Okay, you want me to look up who's next?
Yeah.
How many have you done?
I have 3 more left, I think, and then I go after Vermilion's Destroyer as last, I guess.
So you just got the Electric Seed, and you want to go for Mighty number 8, Counter Shade. You want to know what the weapon that you get from Counter Shade is? Reflect Shoot.
Reflect Shoot?
Reflect Shoot.
I bet you those are backers back there. What's
Oh
going on?
yeah, oh totally. I
Reflect.
remember seeing this level when we were at Dave's house and we booted it up for reasons that I don't remember.
Oh, it had just come out.
I don't think that.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
when
it
we were going
just
to too many
came out.
games. It came out like literally the day before,
Oh really?
or that
Okay.
day, even I think maybe. Even.
Okay.
That's why we booted it up because it just came out. You know, I wonder if, you know, things had gone differently with this game and they had an opportunity to make a sequel. I bet you the sequel would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's kind of funny if you think about it though, because it's kind of like, okay, this is a spiritual successor to Mega Man, but then Mega Man 11 like went and showed like how they should have done this game. So it's
Yeah.
almost like Mega Man 11 is the spiritual sequel to Mighty Number 9.
In a
if you
way,
think of
yeah.
that way.
Oh, like the faces, like when is like the inclusion of backer stuff is like your least favorite part about.
Any time I see, like you know, same thing in Bloodstained. You know, you see like portraits hanging on a wall, and it's a Kickstarter game that's like that is 100% backers.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back and beat
No,
Bloodstained?
I plan to though.
You know you should put it on your pledges for next year.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about maybe doing it this year if I have an opportunity. We'll see what happens. I mean, today is apparently like the halfway point for the year. So.
Drum played it last year and he really loved it too. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it ended up. I feel like it ended up being a very divisive game. So I was glad to hear
what I
that
think
he
is crazy is still
that he
getting
liked it as
updates.
much as I did.
It's still getting
Is it?
updates.
Really
Yeah, they like have a new mode coming out soon, I guess.
interesting. I think it's great. I really enjoyed it. Like I think Drum might have even played through it a couple of times. Like
Really?
he wanted to do like some different modes and challenge things, I think. Well, it looks like we've got a lot of love for it in this chat, at least. I see Alex Gavin say, if you like Symphony of the Night, what's not to like? And, you know, I think a lot of people are so familiar with Symphony of the Night that they don't remember what it's like to play it for the first time. And they might think like, oh, like this thing that Bloodstained is doing is really confusing, and you know, or you know, this isn't as done as well as it was Symphony of the Night. But you know, I have a confession to make. I have actually only ever finished Symphony of the Night all the way through one time. Like I've played like maybe half of it like several other times, but I've only finished it once. So it's not like I feel like for a lot of people, Symphony of the Night is this thing that is just like burned into their brain.
Yeah.
And when you have to play something very similar to that is meant to be very much a spiritual successor, not just to Metroidvanias, but to Symphony of the Night in particular, I feel like Bloodstained gets closer to what Symphony of the Night is than any of the GBA or DS games. And I don't mean that as a slight against the GBA or DS games. I think they are different from Symphony of the Night in a good way. I mean, they do their own thing, right? And I think that Bloodstained is very specifically trying to get to the root of what was Symphony of the Night. What were some of the ideas that were in it that we can, you know, revisit or re-examine or do something with again, but in a different way. And I think it's pretty faithful to the intent of what Symphony of the Night was supposed to be. And I think maybe some of the backlash could have come from, like I say, just like the Symphony of the Night is just so ingrained, and like nothing can replace it for so many people, and they just don't remember what it was like to be playing Symphony of the Night for the first time. But I can envision that pretty easily, since again I've only really played through it one time. But I do remember that aha moment when it was like, oh my gosh, it's like Super Metroid. You know, like do you remember having that like revelation? Like you bring up the map screen and it's like,
Yeah,
oh.
well, yes, but yes, because I mean at that time, you know, like I was not expecting it to be completely like that.
I mean, it was the only thing out there that really was anything close to how Super Metroid structured its world. You know, as common as it is now, like, and even then I didn't play it right away. I didn't play it until probably maybe 2000, I would guess, because I got a used copy at Funkoland. And I heard that it's really good.
I bought it the day,
but,
you know.
But I didn't.
Like, game fan, loving it.
But like I didn't know anything about it. What was it, EGM, or well, didn't we see like an article we were looking up where it was like it was saying like oh, look at the weak PlayStation, it's got this 2D Castlevania coming up. Look at Castlevania 64 that just like knocks its socks off.
Yeah.
I say this as a person who appreciates Castlevania 64. I think I think it has its place and its qualities.
Yeah.
But you know,
do the whole thing again.
it's a ridiculous thing in retrospect.
Yeah.
Is this level more of a maze?
You just gotta look where he is, but it's like apparently there's no checkpoints, so it's like makes it a lot more obnoxious. I don't know, like I mean, sure, there's euphoria and stuff like there's so much about it that's just like not very fun at all.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying there weren't other games with that large, you know. I used to call it a one big level game. You know, I even considered games like Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid to be Metroidvanias. I didn't call them Metroidvanias then, though. I called them one big level games. You know, I even thought of those games as being like that. But like you know, having the map system and having like the you know, just even the way that the map screen is drawn and the way that the levels interconnect is much more directly similar to Super Metroid than other games like the you know, Wonder Boy, Monster World, Dragon's Trap, stuff like that. I mean, yes, there were you know, as you mentioned, Euphoria. I'm not saying there weren't games that followed that design, or even, you know, in a 3D sense, you know, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, like I said. Like, I do think of those as being of a similar genre, but Symphony of the Night was distinct in doing that in just the way the levels were built and the way that the map screen represented it. You know, it was actually kind of exciting to have that revelation while I was, you know, relatively early in the game, because it was actually not that long before then that I came around to loving Super Metroid, because I had never played any Metroid game until around the time the Dreamcast came out, because I'm sure I've told this story before of how my local rental store, Video Show Place, was getting rid of their Super Nintendo games. for um, to make room for Dreamcast. And they had, you know, these complete in box, and man, the boxes were in great shape. You know, my Super Metroid is honestly like flawless, aside from the remains of the Video Show Play sticker that's on the side. It's kind of a shiny sticker, and if you've ever seen it in a video, because like I can't bring myself to fully remove it, because it's like it was that was my, you know, that was like, those were my peak rental days, was Video Show Place. You know, it's like some remnant of the memory of that place's existence, right?
Send me
So
all the way
anyway,
back to the man. I'm about to spend the last half hour playing something else.
well, do it. Go for it. Why don't you pick some games that you've never booted before, that you can PS4 or PS5?
What should we tackle next?
But yeah, I remember there was a comment of my
Grimace's birthday.
You could.
I'm not gonna download it. I'm not gonna do Grimace's birthday. I actually just like
anyway.
installed like a ton of PS4 games on here.
Oh. But yeah, anyway, so I got Super Metroid for $6 complete. And man, it's in good shape. Aside from that sticker.
Wait, what is it?
My Super Metroid, I got complete for $6 because Video Show Place was making room for Dreamcast games and getting rid of Super Nintendo.
Let's see here. If anything jumps out at people.
Now, Alex Gavin says it only took 15 minutes to beat Grimace's birthday.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it though.
Let's see, what have we got here? What is Aqua Kitty DX?
I don't want to play. It's like Defender. Yeah, I mean, I just went through and like, because I got like a 4 terabyte SSD for the PS5. Like, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put like a bunch of
like a SATA one for PS4.
No, it's a USB-C to.
What the heck is Foxyland and Foxyland 2?
That was like a limited release. Like they're both like on the same disc. It's just like they're super super basic, and I feel like I got 10 trophies in like 5 minutes of playing it. Oh, Godzilla. I mean, I have Godzilla. I put it in. I'll play Godzilla.
Is that the one that people
This
say
one is,
isn't
like,
that?
super expensive.
That's the one that's kind of rare, right?
Yeah. I got it.
But it's
for
like,
$10.
is it even that good?
It's not great, but it's neat. I think. I mean, it's not great.
Is there such a thing as a great Godzilla game? I mean, I guess like there's Destroy All Monsters games.
Maybe
are
the ones on the
good.
GameCube and PS2, like the
Melee
ones.
Yeah. That concludes this Mighty Number 9 game fact.
There was James
Oh,
Boone's
yeah.
been a member for 22 months in a row, and so just said "Sup, nerds."
Yeah, that's what we are. Ain't ashamed of it. The Super Famicom
This is like a
Godzilla
real early. This is on
fighting
PS3
game
also.
is
I
not
wonder if the
bad.
PS3 version is like even more rare than this one.
I think I played a Godzilla fighting game on Wonder Swan, like on the Wonder Swan Mr. Core at some point.
The what?
I think I played a Godzilla fighting game on the Wonder Swan core.
Oh.
I don't know if it was Godzilla. It might have been Ultraman. I don't know if there I don't know if there's any overlap of Godzilla and Ultraman. Have there been any new Godzilla movies since Shin Godzilla?
No. In the U.S. there has been.
Well, yeah, that's true. I've not seen. Am I behind? How many movies are in the current American series?
There's
Are there 4 or
Godzilla,
5?
Godzilla or Kong Skull
Kong
Island.
Skull Island.
Then Godzilla King of the Monsters. And
That's the
then
most
Godzilla
recent one I've
versus
seen.
Kong. Godzilla versus Kong is pretty good.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I've not seen it yet though. Do you have it
What
on
mode
your
do I want
Vudu?
to do? God of Destruction mode, King of Kaiju mode, Evolution mode, or
Is God? I wonder if like God of Destruction. I
Evolution
could see
mode? You
that.
can evolve Godzilla to become even more powerful.
God's wait, whoa! That top one though. Read the description. That top
Godzilla
one.
grows large enough to wipe out human civilization.
That's
Let's do that one.
yeah. Like I honestly couldn't tell you whether that's like the easy mode or the hard mode.
I think it's like the campaign mode. I can go ashore, begin Godzilla's rampage from stage 1, invade as another kaiju, defend humanity as an ally kaiju.
I do like the idea of like a Katamari style Godzilla game where you just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
You gotta absorb as much G energy as possible.
G energy.
Oh, here we go.
I love it.
There he is.
Oh, Mega X6 says my nephew loves this game.
Yeah, I mean, I should let my son would probably love playing this. It's just that I wish that it controlled better. I think you turn left and right by using like the L and R buttons.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but I wish you could just use the other stick. Godzilla's pissed off.
Does it say that?
No. Isn't he always, though? We discovered G energy.
G energy.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla was awesome. It was really, really good. You know, it's a really scary movie. It's scary in the same way as the original is scary, but also scary in other ways, in like, you know, arrogance and incompetence. Basically, kills everybody. But just like when he like shoots that one, the one beam and like kills like everybody. We're gonna.
We actually that we went to like a limited U.S. release.
Yeah.
Because I guess it didn't really get a wider U.S. release, did it?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
game
like-
is super expensive. It's like one of the most expensive games on the system because they like there's no digital version of it.
Oh, really? Wow, that's weird for PS4.
Well, because I mean, if there was, it's been delisted at this point.
Interesting. But I mean, you got it almost right away, so it was just normal price.
No, I didn't get it right away, but I got it. I feel like I got it for like $20.
Oh wow.
There's a PS3 version of it too, but I'm not sure if that came out in the US or not.
So wait, is this an American or American physical or not?
Yeah, it's American physical.
Oh, okay. I wonder if the Japanese physical is also rare, or
I don't know.
You know, it's funny you should say that, Aero Monado, because when I saw Coury busting up those multicolored shipping containers, my mind also went to Blast Corps.
Whipping his
Like,
tail around.
like, has there ever been a Godzilla game where you're just like a little dude trying to survive, or
No,
like,
but that's like it would be fun.
I think that would be really cool, yeah.
Units in the area have been destroyed.
Or like, I mean, they could make it like a strategy game too, where you're like devising the response to the monster attacks, right? Like that could also be interesting. Like not a tower defense, but like a, you know, like a turn-based strategy thing. I think that'd be a fun way to do Godzilla.
It's Prime Minister. Incredible, but I doubt it's enough to satisfy 60 years of hibernation. He's not even that big, but he's going to become so big that is going to wipe out human
So wait,
civilization.
that thing you blew up, does that
I think
increase your size?
it's like the G energy is what's going to
The
make
G energy. You know, the the newer American Godzilla movies. I feel like the first one and the third one have like some of the craziest like final blows.
Yeah. Ooh, do I want to
Like,
go after Batra or Mecha Godzilla? No, I'm gonna do Mecha Godzilla because it's just easy mode.
you know, not spoiling
Artorias
anything,
are
but
flawless.
there was a pretty satisfying final blow that I saw the other day in Final Fantasy 16 as well.
Give him some food to chow on, and he'll leave us be. He's no different from a family dog.
A family dog. Godzilla's part of the family now.
Yeah.
Part of the family of all civilization.
I still, you can hear the people in the tanks screaming.
No, that's right. It's that is a nice thing about Tears of the Kingdom is like you don't have to really play it that long to find something worthwhile to do. Although I was so into it, I did tend to play for a long time. Joshua Helvicki says with a 199 super chat, did that final blow in FF16 do 999,999 damage? I mean, probably not. I mean, it was a cutscene blow following a fight anyway, so I could not prescribe a numerical value to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you feel pretty compelled by the game, or is it just kind of all right?
I do. I do feel pretty compelled by it. It's pretty good. I mean, it's I mean, it's hard to say like where in the overall rankings it'll be, but I think it's pretty compelling, and it does I think a better job of just general like pacing and building up to exciting moments compared to a lot of other more relatively recent Final Fantasy games. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. It's got its flaws, but it's pretty solid. It's got satisfying combat. You know, argue as you might about whether it's Final Fantasy combat or not. It's pretty satisfying combat. Especially in boss fights and stuff.
It's your boy
The
Mechagodzilla.
boss fights are pretty exciting. So you know. But you know, talking about Joshua Helmke was asking about you know 6 digits of nines.
Yeah.
But you know the traditional like 4 digits of nines. You know 9999. Like do you ever like kind of miss that being the limit?
Yeah.
I have always thought that breaking that damage cap was kind of a mistake because like it was always so satisfying to hit that limit, right? And then Final Fantasy X was the first one where, you know, for most of the game that is the limit, but you can, at least with Tidus's ultimate weapon, you can get a skill on it that allows you to do more than that. And it was always kind of, I don't know, it was always kind of lame because then it was like, I don't know, like you never can feel like you can hit the top anymore, right? But like reaching that top end of damage was always so satisfying, and
Yeah.
like it never bothered me to think like, oh man, though, like my actual attack stats, like if you do the math, like it you know, I'm actually
Ooh,
not
look
getting
at-
as
look at- boom.
I'm not actually getting as much out of it as I technically should be, or something like that. Like I never thought of it that way. It was always just like, yeah, like I cannot be better than this. I'm doing 999 damage, and it's awesome.
Is there just like lots of numbers flying around in Final Fantasy though?
It's not that bad. I mean, you're it's, I mean, it is fundamentally an action RPG, and you attack pretty rapidly, right? You do 4-hit combos, and then you can finish that combo with a magic attack or a a dog attack. And so you know you do those combos, and you know you get the appropriate, you know, you see the number for the damage you're doing. I don't think it's as overwhelming as a lot of, you know, numbers can be in RPGs these days. One thing I do find to be kind of fun is when you stagger an enemy. You do have this big number that pops up when they finish, when they get back up from being staggered, that actually says like how much stagger damage you did. So like I kind of find it to be pretty fun to be like, you know, kind of try to optimize your stagger time and try to figure out like, oh, how can I do the most damage during the stagger phase? Like that's kind of just a fun thing to challenge yourself to, I think.
This guy's like Godzilla thinks of us as fellow humans, or as fellow planet. Like I don't know. It's like the Prime Minister is being ridiculous. Well, I look forward to eventually playing it. Although, like, I have to, like, I'm excited to play it, but, you know, like, not getting to play it, like, right away is definitely made me not like excited to like play it now. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah,
like the
I know the
moment
feeling.
of it like interest
The
and
moment's
excitement about it
passed.
has passed.
But you couldn't help it.
No, there's no way that I had no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping to get that video done for tomorrow, but it's like if we leave tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get it finished tomorrow. Like it probably will not happen, but I wanted to.
You may as well get in as good of a place as you can get it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll just be hopefully just like real quick by the time I get back.
When
But
are you coming back?
probably next Sunday. Is like when
Okay. So you don't know if you'll be here for the stream or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we might not be back till Monday if we like
Okay,
take our
well,
time getting back.
Just keep me informed so that I know what I'll need to do.
Yeah, I definitely will. But it's you know, I was hoping because I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will like really push on it tomorrow to see where I can get. Because if we end up leaving tomorrow night, then you know the chances are small. But if I have all day tomorrow, really, outside of like the freelance thing I'm working on, if there's like changes and stuff to it tomorrow, you know, like it depends on how serious those changes are. If they're I'm not anticipating being much, but we'll see. Like I just don't think I'll be able to finish it before I go. Believe me, I tried.
It's okay. We know you made some pretty good progress. See, Alex Gavin said, "I'm cheap and don't want to spend $70 on FF16." I mean, I totally get it, and I have not bought a lot of games at $70. Like that, it is interesting, like how much more of a deterrent 70 is versus 60. You know, just in terms of like, I'll wait, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, over the past several years, I had been a lot more, I think, pragmatic about that. Where it's like, you know, okay, like, don't just pre-order every game because you don't have time to start every AAA game like on release anymore, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So you know, especially when it comes to like
Uh-oh.
AAA games, like they go down in price like relatively
Uh-oh.
quickly, right?
Who is it?
Hmm?
Oh, it's Mothra.
Boom,
Oh,
boom, boom, boom.
but it's just it's just the caterpillar version.
Oh. But yeah, like, you know, so I've been waiting on AAA games for a while, but I feel like even more so now. It's like, I'll wait until I can get it for a lot cheaper than that, like more than half the launch price. But, you know, like there are definitely, you know, certain series like Final Fantasy that's like, well, you know, I want to start that right away. You know, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, big Resident Evil fan. Like, I'll pay launch price for those. You know, Zelda, of course, and really like Nintendo games in general. Like, even if I don't think I'm going to start it right away, I often do just buy them right away because they so rarely get discounted, and when they do, it's generally an insignificant discount. Not to say that deals aren't to be had, but it's often quite difficult to get it's not something you can count on to get a deal on a Nintendo game.
Yeah. I don't, like if I knew that I wasn't gonna like be able to start Final Fantasy like for so long, I definitely wouldn't have gotten it on day one. I probably would have just like waited until.
But now you have to justify having paid that price, so you need to start it sooner than later, I guess. When you've got some of your work backlog and family schedule stuff out of the way.
Right. Yeah. Well, after this trip, like things, I have a couple of like smaller like work trips like in August, but I will try to do 2 videos in July, because I was like on a monthly roll there, and then I missed June. So now I need to make up for it.
Bitroast is asking Pikmin 4 a day one. You know, it was going to be. Canceled my pre-order the other day, not because I don't want it, but just because I realized like I am not going to start it day one.
Because you got your other list of things you gotta play too.
Exactly. So like once Final Fantasy 16 is done, which I'm not sure when Pikmin 4 is coming out. Like I'm probably not going to be finished with Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out. But even like once I finish Final Fantasy 16, I need to get back to my list of pledges when it comes to my gaming time. So I was just like, Pikmin 4 is a mistake for me right now. I want to get back to my I want to. I like I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know, like I would like right now I would say I would feel more in the mood to play one of those pledge games than Pikmin 4. Not to say that I just thought I thought you know maybe Pikmin 4 would be a good Christmas game or something like that, right?
There you go.
So I think I am going to hold off on Pikmin 4 for now, just for a few months. But I do have Pikmin 1 and 2 physical pre-ordered because I want that, and you never know, that could be a low print run thing. I have not played the Pikmin 4 demo. I just figured there was no need to. I mean, I'm getting the game regardless, but I just decided I'm not getting it right away. But I don't need to play the demo to convince me to get it. I'm sure it's quite good.
I will say that people like the video that would be coming out tomorrow, like, don't get excited about it. It's just like, it's just kind of
you have some fun shots in it though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like it's not worth being excited about.
But watch
like,
it anyway.
It's something
please.
that like I thought would be more fun to do originally, and then ended up not being like as fun as I thought it was gonna be.
Sane Rub says, "Oh, I'm going to be excited. Sorry, Coury."
Yeah, it's those XR glasses, and like I said, you know, like the coolest thing about it is that I figured out a way to use them to like make a portable mister, like combining it with like a, because it has a battery and a dock that if you have a Retro Castle mister, it can be powered via USB-C, and you can plug that right into the
you have to have a shot of yourself like sitting in a lawn chair in your backyard playing it.
Yeah,
like you have to, and like on your couch or at the kitchen table.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, I'll do some stuff like that, but
Yeah, just do
the
a
thing
few.
is like I can't. The thing is, I can't show what it looks like because it requires the glasses to be on your face and you to be looking through them with your eyeballs, which is unfortunately.
But you can still do some interesting things.
Yeah.
Backflash is asking, is the N64 deblur possible without a mod? Kinda yes, but kinda no. So if you have a RetroTink 5X, and you have an RGB mod, even if it's not a deblur mod, if you do the optimized sampling on the RetroTink 5X, it looks, as far as I can tell, 99% identical to how a de-blur mod looks. But that's with RGB video quality. S-Video through a Retrode 5X is not quite as crisp as it is with RGB. It's not quite as effective, but it's still pretty effective. So, I mean, if you have an S-Video cable and a Retrode 5X, you can get pretty darn close. But that's the only way I know of to get close without a mod. Now, that said, you know, people have varying opinions about de-blur. You know, a lot of people don't like de-blur at all. A lot of people love it. And in truth, it's not something that I think you should use 100% of the time. I would say I probably prefer it for most games. But there's definitely actually situations where certain visual elements read more clearly with the blur. You know, especially like some text, not all text, but some text. You know, sometimes when you blow up these buildings, like all of the particle effects and the smoke and stuff, it doesn't look bad.
No, I mean, it's a fairly mindless little game here. Which is, you know, like what a Godzilla game should be.
Yeah. Oh, you know, that is actually kind of true, Aruminato. Saying Bowser's Fury is a game where you are a little guy surviving a kaiju event. Except you become a big guy to fight the kaiju. But, yeah. Bowser's Fury is great. I'm very curious to see if the next 3D Mario will kind of expand on those ideas. I really, really enjoyed that.
There's another where's the other generator? There's only one gen. Oh, there it is.
I like Bowser's Fury more than I liked Mario 3D World, believe it or not. Like I think Mario 3D World is fine, but I think I'm a little cooler on it than most people seem to be.
Is the Disaster Report Kaiju game on PS4? That's not the Disaster Report 4, is it? Because I have that. That's not Kaiju Attack, is it? Because that
I don't. It must be a separate game, like a spin-off, like the Yakuza Dead Souls or something like that, where like they have. So I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't actually know.
Oh, it's Japan only.
Well, like Yakuza Dead Souls.
No, that came out on PS3 in the US.
Oh, but not physically, right?
Right?
I don't think so.
I think that one got a physical release.
I kind of don't
But
think
maybe it
so.
didn't.
Like
don't know.
I feel like
it's
there's
either
definitely. I mean, you
3 or
don't have
4
it,
that
do
didn't get it.
you? I mean, I feel like there's definitely something about the accessibility of Yakuza Dead Souls. There's definitely something to it. Oh, Cerulean says Dead Souls did come out physically in the US. It was Yakuza 5 that did, but Yakuza 5 you can get physically, like with the PS4 collection.
Chujo is now in charge. It was my destiny to rise into this position. Seismos, even kaiju.
Oh, are you like kind of moving through this like it almost looks like a like an outrun style path.
Yeah. I mean, there's like branching
like-
paths because that changes the difficulty, and the difficulty is based on who's prime minister.
Oh, that's funny.
I was playing a lot of the easy levels before, but now I'm moving up to
Wait,
normal.
Yakuza 5 had an empty box included with the Yakuza Complete Collection?
Yeah, like a certain version of it. Yeah,
Did,
because
but
it,
but do I thought that I bought Yakuza 5.
right, but it's an empty box that is for it's a PS3 case.
Oh, okay, but like for PS4, like is it like 3, 4, 5 like on a single disc?
It's on 2 discs, I think.
Okay, but yeah,
But
yeah,
yes,
that's right.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Okay, so yeah, okay, well yeah, I mean because I got that not that long ago actually.
I do want to play 4. I thought about it many times.
It's not on your list this year, right?
No, but 3 was. I finished that already. Oh, who's it gonna be? Ooh, it's Gigan. Oh, it's like Space Gigan though. It's like a robot version.
Wow.
It's Gigan. It's the Gigan from Final Wars. He has-
Oh, I've definitely seen images of this guy before.
yeah.
Well, he's got like crazy like double chainsaws.
Yeah, usually he just like they were just like hooks type things. Oh, look at him go. Is that what we're gonna do? Let's do that.
Well, those fins look pretty. You don't really want to be hooked by those either.
No.
Man, do you think you're going to make it to where Godzilla destroys all of civilization?
I don't know. Maybe if I stuck on with easy. I don't know. I don't know if
I mean,
there's
I
a way
don't
to
feel
block or
like you're
what.
really getting much larger at all.
I mean, it has his height down there. I mean, I don't know what his where his health bar is.
Analog Pocket not got enough face buttons for Neo Geo? Why? Why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Neo Geo's just 4 buttons, right?
Yeah.
Sounds perfect. What pledge game am I itching to
Jeez.
play next? I'm kind of thinking about Nier Automata.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, well, partly because I mean, supposedly it's fine if I don't play it before this because supposedly there's nothing really spoiled, but there's a backloggery directorship to do the Nier Automata crossover content in Final Fantasy 14
Oh, huh.
for a backloggery directorship, I think in August. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that as my next game after Final Fantasy 16. I mean, who knows? I could change my mind, but that's the way I'm leaning.
Yeah. I say,
Oh yeah. I know, Urameshi. Credits don't mean you're done.
Yeah.
I know.
and I think there's like 26 endings. I think there's one for every letter of the alphabet, and you get credits like for the most random things.
And Lynn, yeah, I played the original Nier. I mean, didn't you borrow my copy of the original Nier? Of course, me owning the game does not
What's
necessarily
happening
mean that
Is
I
it bad
played
camera
it,
angle?
but yeah, I did play it. It was a while ago though. Like I want to, that was like kind of during our Final Fantasy 11 days that I learned that there was actually like a bit of fandom surrounding the original Nier because it was like a game that was always like kind of considered pretty bad, but then like I kind of learned around that time just talking to people like, oh, there's like It's like there's like this group of people that say it's like the most amazing game ever.
It's a great game. I mean, it is.
Well, I mean, Automata. Yeah, I'm talking about the original Nier, but yeah, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Automata.
Well, the original is pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay in the original is not good, really. I don't think. The boss battles are good, but like everything else about the gameplay isn't that good. I don't think it's pretty not good, but it definitely has interesting story behind it, and of course the music is incredible. It has interesting characters.
The music is
definitely
really incredible, and
I mean, there's great qualities to it, but the gameplay is lower among those qualities, in my opinion, of the original Nier. But yeah, I mean, I hear Automata is, pretty top tier stuff. So I am.
and like I
looking
said,
forward to it.
like remember if you remember what I said the one time is that I didn't like it the first time I tried to play it, and then
That's right. Well, and you stopped at credits.
yes, like because I just wasn't feeling it, and then I went back and started it over. And I
Yeah,
see
it
how
was like one of the first things you did on the PS5.
It was the first thing I did, yeah.
Oh yeah, because you didn't even own a PS5 game.
I got
For a while.
Miles Morales,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
ゴジラにより壊滅
but I mean that was so quick in that game.
Yeah.
And I started replaying. I started playing Replicant, and I just like didn't
どち
continue
ら
it,
の
but
映画
I
で
should
進
have.
行が予想されます
I mean, is the gameplay like pretty much the same as the original version?
前に反応ゴジラ
Maybe it might
私
be
たちはゴジラを 止められる
refined
のでしょ
quite a
うか
bit, but I don't remember. It's been a long time. It feels a lot faster. I crave not the fame that this day will bring me.
Robin, not to do any spoilers, but after you beat
入りました
that section, the gameplay will expand in a pretty meaningful way in terms of a new ability that you get that I think makes the combat a lot more interesting.
ゴジラ第二区画に到達
So stick with it, I'd say.
で収集班のポイントにゴジラが侵入した模様
Who's gonna show up on this level?
正
I
体
wonder.
不明の反応を確認
I've hit disaster level 2 though.
推定到達時間は
I mean, I wouldn't say that it gets especially challenging because it's pretty forgiving on like mid boss fight checkpoints. Because I've died twice, and
Is
When I
it like,
respawn-
not that hard of a game?
it's not very hard.
ジェネレーター機能停止
Um,
当エリアのジェネレーターは残り1
I do hear there's a harder difficulty mode unlocked when you beat the game, but it's not very hard. But that said, like I have found it very satisfying to like even though the punishment for death tends to be pretty mild, given that it does seem that there are checkpoints in the middle of boss fights. Like the 2 times I've died and when I
Who's it gonna be?
respawned,
Who's it gonna
Like,
be?
the
Oh,
boss
it's
fights, the boss
Mecha
fights were
Ghidra.
like
Great.
it resumed at a checkpoint basically. But at the same time, like the combat I think is very satisfying, and it's I don't want to die even though like it's not that punishing. Like
メカキングギドラです
I still feel like a lot of intensity in the boss fights because I'm like like, oh man, I'm doing really good, but I'm out of potions, and then it's it's very satisfying when you get to the end of the boss fight. Even when you run out of potions and stuff. Um, but yeah, there is I understand there is a harder difficulty mode unlocked, but yeah, it's a fairly forgiving game, but I think the combat is very satisfying, especially shortly after the part that Robin in the chat was commenting about. Yeah, K-League Gamer, we do have a Discord. People who are on the Patreon, and I mean, you know more about the back end of it than I do, but like, it's supposed to be integrated into the YouTube members as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, YouTube members and Patreon are supposed to be the same
Yeah.
rewards. It's just different systems. But yeah, it's part of that system. And it's a good little active community.
Yeah. Man, is there like a block, I wonder, in this? I died.
Is that the first time you've died?
Yeah.
Oh, has Ghidorah or Mecha Ghidorah
Can I continue? What's gonna happen?
heralded the end of the stream?
Ooh, you can view the kaiju guide. Let's do that.
Joshua Helmke, is it weird that I read your comment there in my head with the in the pacing of the DK rap?
Kaiser Ghidorah.
Whenever I see a Drakengard game in a game store, though, I do kind of look at it just because I know that there's all those weird connections to Nier. Although I think it's like kind of tenuous, maybe.
Well, I'd be curious to. I wonder if there's any more references in Drakengard 3 than there was, because like Nier splits off. It's like a secret ending at the end of the first game or the second game or something like that, where it's like a secret ending where you fight a secret boss and you go through a portal and it like takes you to like the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And you kill this whatever you're fighting. I don't know what it is, but it causes some virus to spread on Earth, and that's what leads to there's like a really, really interesting and kind of sad like timeline that you can read, and it like shows everything like that like real world history like that happening in our world, which is kind of a interesting thing to read, but also like really sad because like the world just like falls apart slowly.
You know what drives me nuts about Drakengard 3, though?
The blue
Yup.
top.
The blue top on it. You all know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, they tried to do it like for
like it looks like it's trying to trick you into thinking it's a PS4 game.
Yeah,
But it's a PS3 game. It looks bizarre, and I dislike it. There's at least a handful of other games that have that too, right? But like that's the one I always think about. Like that's the one that I know about.
the Mecha King Ghidorah costume was a full body costume that weighed 440 pounds.
Whoa.
And operated without a stuntman inside the costume during filming.
In some ways I'm surprised it's not heavier than that.
I guess Kiryu. Multi-Purpose Fighting System 3, the MFS-3. Comes armed from head to toe with beam weapons and rocket projectiles. Look at that. Look at that. Godzilla. Ooh, there he is. Jet Jaguar. I'd watch a YouTube show hosted by Jet Jaguar.
Hosted by?
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun if there was a YouTube show hosted by Jet Jaguar, and he doesn't even talk. He just like does his hand gestures.
I don't know anything about Jet Jaguar. He looks like an Ultraman type thing.
Yeah. That's the whole point. He's a remote control robot developed by the young scientist Goro Ibuki.
I've never heard.
Everyday tasks.
I've never heard of
Jet
Godzilla
Jaguar.
versus
Megalon.
Ooh.
The first giant robot hero in the series, was based on Red Alone, the winning entry in Toho's official monster design contest. However, the entry design did not have a robot face, and it also had wings on its back. Space Godzilla, the combat creature. I love these photographs, though. You know, I like the
Are they photographs or are they like renders of like the game versions?
No. They're from like they're photographs or film
scans.
Yeah, like you can tell right here, like the King Ghidorah.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then the black and white spider.
Yeah, I love how that looks. Oh, there's Ghidorah, the smog monster.
Oh, is Old Man Near backwards compatible on Xbox One? It kind of makes me want to get that version. I've got the PS3 version.
Oh, really?
Because it's
I
yeah,
mean, that does.
that's pretty cool.
The smog monster. Madonna, she wants to hug the smog monster. That's the one. Doesn't like Godzilla get his eye ripped out or something like that in that one?
Oh wow.
I mean, that's the one that's about. The whole movie is. I think it's that one that it's like really trippy. Like it's just really like. I don't know. It's like they are on drugs when they made it.
Except it was Japan, so they definitely weren't.
Yeah, but you never know.
I guess you never know.
Wow, so that makes me want to get near on the Xbox. I almost bought it.
Oh, really? It has FPS boost? That's yeah, that's wild.
Yes, it's Angurius. Angurius is like considered like a good monster later on.
Like, have you seen all of the classic Godzilla movies?
I mean, at some point or another, yeah. Okay, so that's the one from Godzilla Final Wars. Is this version of Gigan? Because Gigan usually has like, they're just like kind of like hooks. But look how doesn't that look like this? Like Gigan looks awesome. It's an awesome looking monster.
Yeah, well, no.
I mean,
This is true.
anyways, well, if I'm here next week, then I'm here, and if I'm not, I hope everyone has a great week and a great next week. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I don't think that my opinion improved on Mighty Number 9, and in fact, it just confirmed that I don't have any real interest in playing it beyond what I played of it now.
There you go.
And there it is. It'll go back to me just like forgetting that it even exists, I guess.
Would you say worse than Fuse?
I'd rather replay Fuse than go back and play that.
Mm.
I mean, does that?
I mean, again, not that there's anything wrong with Fuse.
No, there's nothing wrong with Fuse. I'd rather replay Fuse. Any day of the week, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's the metric. That's the metric all games are judged by.
Yeah. I mean, Voltar says Mighty Number 9 is a good game. I don't care when it says it's a good, solid, mediocre game. I mean, it's like a 5. It's like a 5 out of 10, I'd say. And
Which really,
I'm saying
really,
like that is, it's completely unremarkable, but it's not like unplayable.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's just completely unremarkable.
If video game ratings weren't broken,
yeah, in a way that we're like, if it's
five
anything under a 7 is like viewed as being bad.
Yeah, like if they weren't broken, 5 in theory should be fine.
Yes, a 5, I think, it should just be completely 100% average.
Yeah, like not great, but like, you know, you could glean some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. I'd say this Godzilla is probably a 6.5 out of 10.
Mm.
Fuse is like a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and take care, and good night.